Baby is born at 19 weeks, and what happens when the mother puts him on her lap is… These photos of Walter show the humanity of the preborn child. They prove without a shadow of a doubt that this is a person, not a blob or a bunch of tissue. Like so many women, this woman couldn't be happier to be expecting another child. Everything was normal and medical tests indicated the unborn boy was in good health. Unexpectedly, however, this mother felt unwell and had to give birth. Unexpectedly, the baby's born at 19 weeks. Alexis Fretz felt a sharp pain and began to bleed. She called the doctor and was urgently transported to the hospital. The news was not encouraging. Lexi's contractions intensified even though she'd only been pregnant for 19 weeks. She had no choice but to give birth. Clump of cells, tissue, just a fetus. These are common ways people who are pro-abortion describe the preborn in order to diminish the humanity of these new lives. Well, what people label the preborn is not what defines them, and that is proven by the life of one small child. In the summer of 2013, Walter Joshua Fretz was born at just 19 weeks gestation. He lived only moments, but his life has had a lasting impact. Walter's parents, Lexi and Joshua Fretz, mom and dad to two girls who welcomed their third daughter Mia this September, were excitedly awaiting the arrival of their newest baby when, according to Lexi's blog, she began experiencing spotting. This wasn't unusual for her during pregnancy, but when the spotting turned pink, she grew more concerned and called her midwife, who advised her to go to the ER. In the ER, several pregnant women came in after her and were taken straight to the maternity ward. But since Lexi was not yet 20 weeks, 19 weeks and 6 days, the hospital rules required her to stay in the ER. After about an hour, Lexi was able to hear her baby's heartbeat and felt relieved, but as she waited for an ultrasound, Lexi began to feel the familiar pains of labor. Nearly 5 hours after arriving in the hospital, Lexi gave birth to her son, Walter Joshua Fretz. She writes, "I was crying so hard at this point, but he was perfect. He was fully formed and everything was there. I could see his heart beating in his tiny chest. Joshua and I both held him and cried over him and looked over our perfect tiny son." Joshua's next decision seemed small and natural, but would end up being a life changer for many. He went to the car to get Lexi's camera so he could take photos of his son. At first, this wasn't something Lexi wanted, but the pictures of Walter soon spread across the internet. The photos reached grieving mothers and helped them through the loss of their own babies, and they were used to help women choose life for their preborn children. Lexi has received so many positive messages and shared some, including, "Just came across Walter's pictures. I'm pregnant and been in such a bad place this week. Did my first scan last week and he's a boy too, but this week I started praying for a miscarriage or decided to terminate because his father shirked all responsibility. I asked God to give me a sign today that we'll be fine, or I go ahead and seek a termination tomorrow. A few hours later, I see the link on Facebook, put me to tears. Most importantly, it's made me know without a doubt I can't do this to him. I used to believe there were reasons to justify some abortions, and now seeing Walter there lying on your chest brings me shame to my former opinions and to heartbreak for every woman who decides to terminate without understanding the value of the life within them. I've always thought it was a woman's choice to abort a pregnancy. Again, lack of understanding, thinking, or rather being led to believe that at this stage a woman would be aborting a fetus, massive cells. How wrong. I'm glad you chose to share your story and beautiful photos of such a sad time in your life as you've educated me. I'm pregnant 8 weeks, and 3 weeks of that I've been in total agony what to do, whether to keep or abort. I'm not in a great position for children at the moment, but you've put my life into perspective. I can love this baby and get by, so that's enough for me. I'm keeping this baby I'm carrying, and I'm going to treasure them for eternity." These photos of Walter show the humanity of the preborn child. They prove without a shadow of a doubt this is a person, not a blob or bunch of tissue. Which begs the question, why is it legal to end the life of a preborn human? Just because the child within cannot be seen by us doesn't mean it's a blob of cells, writes Lexi. Walter was perfectly formed and very active in the womb. If he had just a few more short weeks, he would have had a fighting chance at life. In all our hurt, I'm glad that some good can come out of this. I pray that the Lord will continue to use Walter's photos to impact many.